When we first consider taking a teacher training, a lot of times we don't even realize what we're after. We just have this inner sense that, ooh, I would like to get certified. I would like to get certified. I would like to have teaching yoga be a part of my life. But we really don't know what we're in for.
Syl is so wonderful at being able to accommodate the individual person. It's not this set in stone type of program. It's what you need is what she gives you. And she is so fun and entertaining, and it's just, you feel at home the first time you come, and that's just wonderful about it.
It's like taking a college class, only better. I mean, there's so much information and insight into working with others and just physiology. It's just a wealth of information and exchange. And she has this wonderful perspective on life that is so rational and reasonable and humorous. And I just thought, oh, I need to approach life like that. Mind, body, spirit, freights together just right.
I think the biggest aha moment for me during the training was just realizing the field of information that's out there. And Syl did a great job of kind of bringing that into kind of the sort of the Western thought, or somewhere that I could cognitively grasp some of that information. And it just was really, I don't want to, kind of mind-blowing, all that stuff. So anyway, it was really great to have access to some of that information and to realize what's out there, and it's an amazing world around us.
And so I chose this as a personal immersion. I didn't come in with the intent to end up becoming a yoga teacher. I didn't have that level of confidence. So I chose it as a personal immersion, and it's been fabulous for that.
Oh, I chose Bodhi Yoga because of all the tools that came with the training. The manuals, the DVDs, the CDs, and just reading online and comparing to different places, the balance of all the stuff we learned during the training. It wasn't just focused on just poses or the spiritual aspect or just any one thing. I felt like it was very balanced, and we covered a lot of ground.
And as I've reviewed people that have taken this training, it's close to 25% have completed certifications elsewhere and come here to add to what they already learned.
The reason I decided to do the White Mountain Yoga training in addition to the training I had already done previously was because I felt like I needed something more, like there was something missing, that I needed obviously to fill in some holes, and it just felt, my previous training was a little bit more mechanical, but in the end, this White Mountain Yoga training, you know, really allowed me some more flexibility and really liberated my style of teaching.
I've been a massage therapist for 15 years, and so I have a good education in anatomy, and I have a lot of clients that need specific therapy work. And the reason that I chose specifically to come to Bodhi Yoga for my teacher training is that I examined some of the other programs that are available, and they have a pretty rote or a pretty routine thing that they teach. They don't teach unique to the individuals. They don't teach you how to work with injuries and rehabilitation. And that's where my focus is. I want to have classes that are unique to myself as well as to the clients that I'm working with.
I loved how when I was searching for certification, I found that the Bodhi Yoga Studio had such a broad curriculum. And I knew that leaving the Bodhi Yoga Studio, I would be able to feel comfortable teaching any type of yoga, that I wouldn't be stuck in one aspect of yoga, that I could really feel out what's right for me and what I love, and really, really find what I would feel most comfortable teaching and be the best teacher that I could be.
Because what happens with yoga, when we're teaching yoga, we can only go up so far as our foundation is broad. And if I have a fairly narrow foundation, then there's only so far I can go with that until I need to go beyond that. The intention for the Bodhi Yoga teacher training is to give you as broad a base as you want to go up. And that's why we teach several different styles of practice. It's why we help you learn how to teach specialized classes where you can take yoga into a therapy, or yoga into a workout, or yoga into a personal sanctuary. So even if you never plan on teaching, just to have had the experience of immersing yourself in the practice, for me, is well worth the money.
The biggest surprise was that it not only enlightened my yoga teaching, but it also really it did change my life. It brought on, it opened up some things I had never thought about. It explored different things I didn't even think existed, and it really, it touched every part of my life and not just my yoga. After White Mountain Yoga training, I kind of gained tools to mold my life in a way that was productive, but also dealing with things as they happened. My yoga practice has become phenomenal. It's more explorative, and I often get sort of these huge epiphanies, these visionary experiences almost of just this opening up of the heavens that just before was so mechanical, but now is just, I've said it before, but it just liberates you. So now my yoga practice it's beyond the mat, literally.
Oh, the training's so broad. When I first started the immersion weekends, I didn't have the comfort to be able to do my own practice without going to a class or without, meticulously following a DVD. And now I feel so much freedom to be able to adapt my practice to what I need, and to have that confidence and courage to be able to listen to my body and move in the way I need to.
It changed my yoga practice dramatically. As soon as I completed the training, I began to be a lot more diligent in my daily yoga practice, and my yoga practice became more intense, and I was able to achieve things that I never thought I would be able to achieve in yoga, and it's really been an awesome experience, life-changing.
As a teacher, you've made an initial investment in our time here, and it's our intention to help you make that back and beyond that within a fairly short period of time, based on how you take your practice and what you want to do with it. So we don't end with our 5th session. The 5th session is the end of an initial immersion mentoring program. But the mentoring doesn't end when your 5 months ends. And that's why we invite you back. So you don't ever have to pay to come back and sit in on the next session or the session after that, or as things open up and life settles down in one way and you've got a space that opens up, or you create that space for yourself to come back. We're with you the whole way to get you where you want to be. So for me, it's not about the dollar amount. The dollar amount makes the physical space possible. We give you the latitude, the depth and the breadth to take that and develop something that's uniquely your own as well, should you choose to do that.
Most valuable thing I took from the training is definitely the hands-on adjusting. Huge tool in my own practice, and it's been such a gift to be able to give to students and see a lot of aha moments with them. Just minor hands-on adjusting and seeing their faces light up, or seeing them relax or deepen into a posture. It's very personable. You get to know the people. It's not like a classroom setting. It's just a nice, relaxed atmosphere, and you walk away with so much more than yoga. So I highly, highly recommend the Bodhi Yoga training.
I really enjoyed being able to get a weekend to myself, and I loved the camaraderie that is between the members, and I love that it's a small classroom setting and that it's very kinesthetic learning. I was able to get up and move because
The most valuable part of the Bodhi Yoga certification so far has been the emotional healing that I found from it. I came into the yoga certification not necessarily trusting myself and my words and how I teach or how I communicate with other people. And I found that through the way that Syl has taught us to accept ourselves and to really bring out our true selves in our teaching, I felt so much more comfortable with that. And I really now feel more comfortable in that teaching space, and I've come to love myself more.
I would recommend Bodhi Yoga for anyone, whether they're wanting to become a teacher or they're just wanting a deep personal immersion. Maybe you will end up becoming a teacher. Now I'm opening up to that vision a little bit. But I would recommend it if you're just looking for a life-changing experience.
I would totally recommend it to anyone who's interested, but I would especially recommend it to somebody that's hesitant, maybe thinking that they can't be a yogi or don't have a yoga body or they're too old. I'm 48. So it's really never too late to kind of get into this and get this information. I think it's really valuable.
Through the experience of the teacher training, it's helped me to really let go of the things that are not relevant when I'm practicing. I can let go of work, I can let go of expectations for how the pose is supposed to be, and just enjoy being in the yoga. Namaste. Namaste.
It's worth doing. It's worth the money, it's worth the time. It's just an enrichment in life that you don't get anywhere else.
I didn't choose to teach yoga. You know, people, when I started practicing, approached me and said, just come teach me what you know so far. And so I did. And I never planned to certify people in yoga, but the people I was teaching over years of time said, I want to do a certification, but I want to teach what you're teaching. Where do I get certified to do that? And I'm like, well, my practice comes from me. It comes from within me. And, well, I want to learn how to get my practice to come from within me rather than someone else's routine or philosophy or whatever. So we give you a foundation of a Bodhi Yoga philosophy. And so it was my students that asked me to do the certification, and then it was several years before the first one was done. And our first teacher training, we still have yogis here at the center every week that were in that first training, Francis and John and others. And that first little manual was about the size of my own certification manual when I went through a certification. It was about 198 pages. And over the course of nearly 10 years of teaching these certifications, each group has said, I would also like this, I would also like this, I would also like this. And while I'm the author and the illustrator of the images you see in there, and the one who compiled it all into a coherent way to read it, it's really been written by every teacher that has been through this program. And you'll benefit from it because you'll be able to go yoga online on the teacher certification level and see the work that we did firsthand. And so, namaste for that. Namaste.